we're going to talk about, is civilization still going to be here by 2100? That's the new number that everyone's toting is 2100. 2100. It's just a nice number. Remember, it was 2050 not too long ago, and 2025 before that, and 2000 before that. And in the 60s, it would be all over by the 80s, but we keep finding that things don't end and they keep going, and so that's what keeps me going. I don't believe that we're going to kill ourselves just yet. I'm hoping not, even with insane people in office. But what makes me think that we're in trouble as a civilization, good old history kind of does it. For an example, when a civilization doesn't care about its wildlife anymore, it only cares about itself, that's usually the beginning of the end. Botswana, their cabinet, to lift a ban on elephant culling. That, of course, is the official word, elephant culling. Actually, it just means killing. You kill they want to kill elephants because humans are encroaching on their area, and they want the area. Isn't that what humans always do? So, time to kill off the animals. That tells me they're overpopulated and they don't give a damn about the rest of the planet. Kill off the elephants. An animal that is as smart as a dolphin, smarter than humans. They can survive out in the wild, in deserts, and practically anywhere without a single suit or anything. But we think they're in the way, so it's time to kill them. This is a very common thing that humans do when they're trying to grow. So the reason they want to cull these elephants is because they want to use them for pet food, make money off of them. You know, you guys have it wrong. It's the elephants that need to cull the humans. Botswana has about 130,000 elephants at present. I'm going to show you a chart here that's a roadmap to collapse. And speaking of collapse, it's time to move on. So, a roadmap to civilization's collapse. Here are 28 different civilizations that collapsed in history. Let's look at this. So, people are more than not responsible for their own collapses. As you can see, collapses come pretty much any time, but they don't last much more than 1,500 years. They seem to, most of the reason is either war, or they use up their natural surroundings and deplete the soil, and there's no more animals left to eat, and they starve to death, and the people move away to someplace else. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? For example, Rome's collapse happened in just 5 years. That's all it took. The U.S. seems to be on a collapse. Venezuela's collapsing, and several other countries have been collapsed because of the U.S. Afghanistan, Iraq, for example. So the Roman Empire covered 4.4 million square kilometers, or 1.9 million square miles. But yet they lost it all in 5 years. By the year 476 AD, the empire was completely gone. Now here's a list of some of the collapsed countries around the world in the past. Why can't we learn from that? How come we're not going to learn from that, and we keep going down the same path, doing the same thing over and over, making the same videos about the same subject over and over and over, and expecting people to change? Is that not insanity? Why would I have to put on over 1,000 videos and still there doesn't seem to be much change? Because wildlife is becoming so small, we don't seem to care. Why should we, they say. By the year 2100, humans are going to wish they had some animals around, if they're still around. So by going by what happens in the planet, that usually collapse shows up when we start going after our environment, and we no longer care about the living, growing community around humans, and we try to separate ourselves from the natural surroundings. It just doesn't work. There's so many things that humans can do to stave off any kind of collapse, but it just seems as if we're destined to collapse. And scientists have found that if you look at birds long enough, for example, birds do the same thing over and over and over their entire life. Never changes. Humans seem to have all this variety of things that we do, including the same old rut every day. But that is something that humans do that's different than most other animals, is that we do things that aren't over and over, such as like a turtle. Sits on logs, goes and eats, sits on another log, goes and eats, and lives a very long life doing that. It's almost as if human civilization doesn't really belong here at all. What do you think? Do we belong here? So, an update on the new video studio. I've got pretty much everything planned out of what it's going to look like. It's just a lot of physical work, and it's funny how much stuff gets in the way when you're trying to do something. But one of the ideas is to bring another person in to help me with the live stream, because it is complicated. And I noticed that live streaming only happens a few times and then people seem to burn out on it. I think it's a lot of work for one person. So I'll be looking for another person to possibly come in, or come in through electronically or something like that, and we'll try having two people and somebody that's more desirable on the camera, if you know what I mean. So anyway, is Civilization going to make it to 2100? I sort of have a feeling that most of the people on this channel will say no. They'll say we'll not even make it to 2025. So, to get to 1,000 subscribers, some people need to go and subscribe if you feel like it. And that way I'll be eligible for live streaming, and it looks like we'll get the live streaming and the subscribers about the same time, maybe. Things will be ready by the time we've got enough subscribers. So, I appreciate all the ups and downs, and definitely the new comments. And until next time.